You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? We are back and ready for Week 11 action against the Detroit Lions. I am joined once again by my co-host, Isaiah Frey. How you doing, Isaiah?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done one of these, which we haven't missed too much. But how's everything going with you since we haven't been really connecting as much lately?
Good on my end. We just spoke about, I coached high school. We lost in triple overtime, so that wouldn't hurt. But can't be mad. The boys played hard, so it's part of the game. Got to charge the game sometimes.
Hey, at least you guys are competitive, right?
Right, exactly.
Unlike the Chicago Bears, going into a very tough matchup. And this is the matchup I've been kind of dreading all season long, especially since the Detroit Lions are playing at such a high level. This is a team that looks like they're running away with the NFC North. This is a legit, I wouldn't say contender, but they're going to be a legit threat in the NFC come playoff time. This is a team that can run the football well, a team that's disciplined, well coached. So what is your initial reaction to this matchup against the Detroit Lions on Sunday?
Speaking for the Lions, this team's actually built for December in January, man, with their O-line and their running game. So when they're facing Chicago this week, it's going to be a difficult matchup. Some positives about Chicago. The defense is playing really well right now. If they can continue that stint what they're doing right now, I think they can make it a game come Sunday.
Yeah, Isaiah, what concerns me about this football team, like under head coach Matt Eberflus, I feel like under head coach Matt Eberflus, ever since he's taken over defensive play calling, it has been good. But I think my problem with this football team is still consistency, right? We'll win a game and then we'll lose a couple, right? So it's just inconsistent. And I feel like we beat the teams that we're supposed to beat, but we haven't beaten a quality opponent ever since Matt Eberflus has taken over as head coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only one you can even semi say that was an okay opponent was the Patriots last year. And even that's, if you look at them now, that's not a really
right.
But yeah, it's the inconsistency is tough to see. I think that when they're beating these teams that they're playing to win, it's almost like a catch-22, right? You want them to do well, but then also you're getting these wins and you're messing up your draft status come next year. So it's kind of tough to see, but at the same time, a win is a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we can put on his resume that we did beat the San Francisco 49ers at the beginning of last season, but that was with Trey Lance. And one of his, he didn't have a lot of starts. They still had that defense, but I guess that's a quality win as well. But Isaiah, can you give me a breakdown and your initial reaction to that win over the Carolina Panthers on Thursday Night Football? I know it was a snooze fest. I know Tyson Bagent was in the game, but we barely scraped by against the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, it was boring. It was just boring to watch on both sides of the ball. Let me take that back. On both teams, I actually enjoyed what Chicago did on defense. I think they did what they were supposed to do. But it's hard to give them a lot of credit for that because Carolina Panthers offense is not very good. As you can see, they already switched play calling duties this upcoming week. But like I said earlier, a win is a win. I thought Tyson did what he was supposed to do. Speaking to him, I think he has a place in this league for sure.
Absolutely.
Drafted a rookie, and for the games he came in and played, man, he did well, got some wins, and no telling what his future holds in the future. But as far as a quarterback controversy, there's nothing to talk about when it comes to that subject.
Yeah, Isaiah, I have to give him his flowers because there wasn't a lot of expectations on the kid. Like you mentioned, an undrafted rookie out of Shepherd's University, a D2 school. He was preparing for the Colorado School of Mines at one point, and then he, got thrown in against the Minnesota Vikings. Then, he beat the Las Vegas Raiders, even though the Raiders were led by Brian Hoyer. And then he beat the Carolina Panthers, which the Carolina Panthers are the Carolina Panthers. But all in all, the expectations weren't high for the kid, and he came in and did what a backup was supposed to do. And I feel like that is his ceiling at the moment in the NFL, is a high quality backup. But I feel like in terms of some Bears fans saying that he could possibly be the future of this team, well, first of all, not under this coaching staff, especially with Luke Getsy calling the plays. And right. I just feel like there are still some limitations to his game as well to be a true franchise quarterback in the NFL.
I agree. For the time being right now, he's definitely not ready to be a franchise quarterback. Who's to say that he can't develop into that later on in his career? I'm not the one to say that. I think anybody with hard work and dedication, and especially with a guy with his attributes, definitely can get to that point. But as far as right now and where he's at, I don't think it's a good move for Chicago to think that way, to say we can get rid of Justin and use him as the franchise quarterback. But he's a solid backup, man, and backups are hard to come by nowadays. Like, you get your top 32 quarterbacks, and then after that, you're it's like a crapshoot at that point. So to have a guy like that is great for Chicago.
Yeah, absolutely. And Isaiah, obviously, I really love your input. That's one of the huge reasons why you are a co-host on my show. Obviously, you played in the NFL. You played against a lot of really good quarterbacks. Why isn't there any quarterback controversy? And the reason why I'm asking you this is because right now, between the Chicago Bears fan base, there's like this civil war going on between Tyson Bagent and Justin Fields. And I actually posted a video, I think last week, just stating like, hey, why are we attacking each other? We should be supporting both of our quarterbacks on the roster. We should be supporting all our players on the Chicago Bears roster. But Isaiah, why isn't there a quarterback controversy between Tyson Bagent and Justin Fields?
If you watch really in depth of the game, there's a lot of reads that Tyson's missing right now, and it's not his fault. That just comes with reps and experience, right? But you look at some reads compared to the ones that Justin make, it's just night and day in how they're reading defenses right now. They always say that Getsy was kind of opening the playbook for Tyson, and quite honestly, he wasn't. He actually dumbed it down for him and made his reads very simple, which helped him out a lot, which you should for an undrafted rookie quarterback. But there's no controversy in their attributes, in their reading, the mental of the game. Justin Fields is clearly the man right now. But I like I said earlier, I think Tyson has a bright future in this league, and I can see him doing some things within the next few years.
Some of the things that Luke Getsy did with Tyson Bagent in his 4 starts as a Chicago Bears starter while Justin Fields was out, I feel like Luke Getsy should do the same thing with Justin Fields. I wouldn't say, dumb it down all the way, because I feel like Justin Fields does have knowledge of the offense, but sometimes you don't need to make things too difficult or too complicated, especially when you have like 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s. You don't need to make the play super complicated. So I would really love to see Luke Getsy roll Justin Fields out, which they were doing a lot with Tyson Bagent. But when Justin Fields is in the game, it seems like he's always under center, or they're forcing him to be a pocket quarterback. And we repeat this until we're blue in the face on this channel, is that Justin Fields is far from that.
Yeah, you have to play to his strengths. Getsy, he got into a mode early on in the season that he was trying to turn him into Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields is not Aaron Rodgers. They're completely different quarterbacks, and you're not going to be able to get that out of the kid. But as far as him, keeping him in the pocket, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like you said, you need to roll him out. You need to get him in zone reads. You need to get him running early, get him involved in the game. That's the kind of player he is. I can remember playing, and it's always that first hit that gets you in the game. You're like, okay, I'm mentally in it. He's the same exact way. He's not going to, he's not going to be in a game if he's just sitting there dumping it off, checking it down. That's just not his game. So he has to know what type of player he's coaching.
And something that we always talk about, and I think you brought it up many times on your 3 keys to a Bears win, you said for both quarterbacks is get them within the rhythm of the game. So something that I've noticed that Luke Getsy has done with Tyson Bagent over the last couple of weeks is simple rollout, simple, out passes, just quick passes, right? And that's kind of like Tyson Bagent's strength, getting rid of the ball fast. But the second that they tried to force Tyson Bagent to be a pocket quarterback and actually read a defense, he was having the same struggles as Justin Fields, because that is not their strengths. That the strength is rolling them out, quick throws, let your playmakers make plays. When you allow DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet to make plays, that's when the offense really starts to get going.
Definitely. I mean, you want to be able to take shots when you can, but to get the flow in the offense, man, you got to roll them out and get them seeing layups, man. Layups is the best way to start shooting threes, right? In a basketball sense. So if you're able to do that with Justin, man, as you can see when they play the Commanders, he's able to read the cover 2 defense, the cover 2 shell, look off the safety and go to the side pocket. Those are the type of things that you get when you get him in a rhythm.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, I am not a Tyson Bagent hater. I'm really pleased on how he played for the Chicago Bears in these 4 games. He went 2-2, and that's why, the controversy was stirred up, because Tyson Bagent won 2 games this season. Justin Fields won 1. And I know a lot of people that support Justin Fields are saying, you're crazy if you think Justin Fields would have torched the Las Vegas Raiders. You're crazy to think if Justin Fields wouldn't torch the Carolina Panthers, right? So at this point, controversy is controversy. It comes with the media. But just like Isaiah said, there is no quarterback controversy in Chicago, and we're really happy to have Justin Fields back.
Yeah, definitely. He's a guy, man, and I look at it as a positive. It's always good to have a really good backup, man, and that should be something that Chicago can hang their hat on.
For sure. So now, Isaiah, we are 3-7. The Bears are 3-7 with 7 games left to play. Justin Fields, to many, has 7 games to prove why he is the franchise quarterback and why Ryan Poles should move forward with him and continue to build around Justin Fields here in Chicago. Do you think he can get it done?
There's a part of me that knows, I think as a football fan on the outside and not a part of the Chicago Bears organization, that I think logically you keep Justin Fields, right? You keep him throughout the season. He's going to do well. He's going to do what he's been doing. And, you build around him, especially with those 2 high draft picks you're going to get. But then the part of me that's been a player and that knows the business side of it, I kind of see them going in a different direction. And it's because of what you spoke of a few weeks back. The way that Ryan Poles keeps his job is if he gets rid of him, right? He buys him some time. So in that sense, man, it's hard for me to see him being a Chicago Bear next year. And that's unfortunate, man, because I think wherever he's going to go, he's going to be successful, whether he stays here or somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to take, a really good offensive coordinator to really unlock Justin Fields, because I know that he has the capabilities to be a really good quarterback and he has shown flashes. But the problem with Justin Fields has been consistency. So when you look at the Chicago Bears last 7 games, it's not going to be easy by no means. You have Detroit Lions twice, you still have the Minnesota Vikings. We have lost to them already, and Josh Dobbs has them playing on a totally different level. Then you have the Cleveland Browns, and that's going to be deja vu moment for Justin Fields. If you remember, his first career start was in Cleveland against that Cleveland Browns defense, and it was not a great day for Matt Nagy or Justin Fields as well. And then you have teams like the Atlanta Falcons, the Arizona Cardinals, and then the Green Bay Packers. I think those are all winnable games. Even though we have not proved that we can beat the Green Bay Packers, I still think that is a winnable game for the Chicago Bears. But if Justin Fields comes out and can play consistent turnover-free football, and we are also winning football games against like the Detroit Lions, the Vikings, even the Cleveland Browns, if he can win those games somehow, I think that would go very far to prove that he can do it.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to get some substantial wins. And when I mean by that is beating the Lions once, you know what I mean? Taking over and beating the Packers. Those are wins that, Chicago can be like, okay, these are some good wins that, we look forward to moving on to the next season. But, if that doesn't happen, it's what I said earlier. It's Ryan Poles saving his own job, getting a new coach, getting a whole new staff, getting a new quarterback, and just starting over so he can, keep his job.
And I guess my question to you is, you get rid of Justin Fields, right? Let's say you get rid of Justin Fields to save your job if you're Ryan Poles. Can you really run it back and trust this coaching staff, Matt Eberflus, Luke Getsy, to draft another quarterback and develop them?
No, you start over. It's either there's 2 ways to do this. There's 2 different ways. You either get rid of the coaching staff, keep Justin Fields, and get a coach in there that's gonna develop him and maximize potential, or you clean slate, clean house completely. I don't think there's any 2 other ways. There's not a way where you keep the coaching staff and get rid of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, and I did a video the other day, and I was like, these last 7 games, everyone's going to be looking at Justin Fields, but I'm also going to be looking at head coach Matt Eberflus. Even though ever since he's taken over defensive play calling, the defense has been really good. I believe we're like number 2 in rushing defense right now in the last, 4 games. So they have been really good under head coach Matt Eberflus calling the defensive plays. But the fact of the matter is, the guy is still 6-21 as Chicago Bears head coach. Justin Fields is still 6-27 as a starting quarterback. So at the end of the day, you can't have flashes. We need consistency. We need to see wins at the end of the day. And I understand there is a business aspect of it, but I'm going to choose to remain optimistic. I think I've seen enough of head coach Matt Eberflus. I think the guys are still playing for him. I really do. The effort is there. I just don't think he's meant to be a head coach.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, and like I said before, I've played for him. He's a good coach, man. He knows his, he's hell of a DC, right? But like you said, some guys just and I don't want to say that it's him being a bad head coach. Sometimes you just don't, as a coach, you don't go into the right situation and it just doesn't. know, I can confidently say that Josh McDaniels is not a good head coach just from
Yeah.
his track record.
Yeah.
But for Matt Eberflus, it's hard for me to give him that tag because I think he came into a situation where it was going to be hard to succeed. So, just maybe it's just not right time, right place.
Matt Eberflus is the type of guy that you're insinuating that if the situation was already good, right? You already had your franchise quarterback, the team was already built for him, and all he had to do was come in and preach his philosophies and build the culture, he would have been fine.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like how Josh McDaniels came in and took away from Coach Bisaccia, who had those boys playing really well, making it to the playoffs. And
right.
With a dumpster dive. So completely different situation.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting last 7 games for the Chicago Bears. Can you give me your honest opinion on what you think the Chicago Bears record will be in these last 7 games?
I honestly think they'll win 2 games out of the last 7.
So 2-5.
2-5, yeah. And I actually to make Chicago fans happy, I think one of them is going to be against the Packers. So
okay, and that's okay. That's okay because I think the Bears need a win over the Green Bay Packers. It has been a long time, and especially the way the Packers have played this season. You think about it, it's like, okay, there's no way we have to beat the Packers at the end of the year.
We do, and it goes back to the beginning of the year when they played them week 1, and we almost guaranteed that they were going to beat the Packers. They came out and just played. And that was the start of just a bad season from there. So
yeah, we should have known from that game that another bad season, because to me that was a fluke for Jordan Love because he hasn't looked anything close to that after that week 1 game.
And you can go back to Alan Williams calling the defensive plays, man. And I was watching the game that was one of the games I actually got to sit down and watch live. Like, it was so predictable what they were running every single third down. So I could have went back there and played quarterback and got a few first downs.
I bet. So now that we're looking towards, this Detroit Lions game, it's going to be a tough matchup for Justin Fields, but I'm excited to see, him back in action against a quality opponent in the Detroit Lions. Especially when you're looking at these divisional matchups, anything can happen within the NFC North in these matchups. What are 3 keys to a Chicago Bears win Sunday against the Lions?
Continue the defense ramping up. They're doing a great job right now. I think they're getting their swagger. I love the way we bagged on him for the first 4 or 5 weeks of last year, but I love the way Kyler Gordon's playing right now, man.
Yeah. I love it.
A baller, man. And I being a former nickel, I love to watch slot corners.
Yeah.
He's doing some good stuff, and I'm very, very impressed with him. Get Justin Fields in a rhythm. That's my second point. He's coming back from injury. He's going to be a little rusty. So get him seeing the game a little bit slower in the beginning just so he can get his feet wet, get running, and then after that he's going to take off.
Right.
And then 3, stay confident in yourself and what you're going to do during the game. I think that a lot of the times where Chicago goes wrong is that they get behind, and then the curse of Chicago starts to creep into their mind. They just got to know, man, it's going to be a fight to the end, and they got to keep fighting and fight to the last whistle so they can earn the W.
Yeah, love all your 3 keys to a Bears win. And a couple of points on each of those. First one, Kyler Gordon is absolutely balling. I think it's the spidey senses kicking in. Absolutely love that little celebration he does. He is playing with a swagger. But my concern is with Jaquan Brisker. Can someone teach him? Can you go out there and teach him how to cover? Because he can come in and make a hit, but there's sometimes where he looks lost in coverage. So
definitely a box safety.
Yeah, he could be like a hybrid linebacker as well. Maybe just use him in certain ways, but there is times where you have to be able to cover as well, and he doesn't do it at a high level all the time.
Right. Yeah, it's he's not, the covering is not his strength, but he's doing some good things in the tackle.
He is. He is. And the second point that you brought up about, getting Justin Fields comfortable in the game, something that people fail to realize, something that, really helped Tyson Bagent is that the run game has really gotten going. The defense has played really well. Justin Fields didn't really have that benefit early on because the defense wasn't playing that well. The run game wasn't really getting going. There's one man that I'm excited to see Justin Fields play with, and that is Deontay Foreman. The guy is also always going forward. I think Deontay Foreman is going to be a necessity to Justin Fields getting this offense going. It's going to unlock Justin Fields in terms of throwing the ball downfield. And people keep forgetting that we're about to get Khalil Herbert back. The Chicago Bears have a really good problem in the backfield. A combination with Khalil Herbert and Deontay Foreman and Justin Fields is going to be beautiful for the Chicago Bears offense for the last 7 games.
Yeah, it takes you back to last year when they had Montgomery, right, and Khalil
Yeah.
Herbert. So it's always good to have a three-headed monster back there to get you where you need to go in the rushing game.
And then your third point, about just, staying confident, right? And all that good stuff. And to me, this is the second time where we played on Thursday night and had 10 days to prepare. The last time we played on Thursday night, won 40-20 over the Washington Commanders. You had 10 days to prepare. I forgot who we played, but then they looked unprepared. So I hope the same thing doesn't happen against the Detroit Lions. You had 10 days to prepare for the Detroit Lions. It's no easy matchup. I understand that. But we have to look prepared. And this is a team that will hit you in the mouth. I want to see the Chicago Bears hit them in the mouth first.
Definitely.
Give it your best shot. To me, even though they look good, it's still the Detroit Lions to me. And until they prove otherwise, it looks like they're going to win the division. Congratulations, but you got to hit them in the mouth. It's a divisional opponent. They're not coming to take it easy. So you got to hit them in the mouth.
Yeah, that's their motto, man. Dan Campbell, like a guy I would have loved to play for. He just has those guys over there just playing hard, man. And I seen a clip of their offensive line last week. They legit just reestablished the line of scrimmage by getting pushed about 4 yards before there was anybody close to the running back. So it's going to be a bloodbath, man. You got to be ready to come in and fight.
Yeah. Be honest with me, Isaiah. When he had his open introduction press conference and he said they're going to bite kneecaps off, you didn't laugh at him, or did you take him seriously?
Oh, I was cracking up. But he the guy I can understand it, and he was trying to be funny in the moment, and I respect coaches like that because they can keep it light, but then at the same time when it's time for business, it's business.
Yeah, and I promise you, in this game, if the Bears start slow, the game will be over in the first quarter. Because what the Detroit Lions do well is they can go up 14-0 and they'll just run the ball.
Right.
And if you can't stop the run, their offensive line is that good where they can control the line of scrimmage. They win in the trenches. Obviously when you're looking at a rebuild, Ryan Poles needs to take notes from the Detroit Lions because they built their team the right way from the trenches out.
Definitely. I'll go on record and saying they have the best O-line in the game right now. That's how good they are. So, hopefully Chicago can get to that point. And, if you can get that O-line with a Justin Fields and a Deontay Foreman and Khalil Herbert, man, I don't know. Shoot. We're talking some good stuff, but
we are. Yeah, absolutely. So now we're at the part of the show. It's my favorite part of the show, and I already know where this is going. I know my pick. I don't even want to pick against the Bears, but Isaiah, I'll let you go first. Who do you got winning this matchup on Sunday?
I got Detroit winning. Unfortunately, they're just playing too well right now. Justin Fields is going to be a little rusty. I got them winning 31-17.
Okay. 31-17. So losing by 14. Man, this is tough because I think Justin Fields is going to be rusty, but I think he's also going to be refreshed. And I think this is when you look at Justin Fields, this is going to be a man on the mission. He understands the stakes are high. Even though Justin Fields is not a rah-rah guy, he's like, I have nothing to prove. He has everything to prove. And it starts on Sunday. I'm against the Detroit Lions, but I also have the Bears losing this game because I have to be realistic about the fact that the Detroit Lions are the better football team on paper, and they're playing better football as well. But I think it is going to be a closer matchup than people anticipate. I think the Bears lose this game 27-21.
Okay. Hey, they lose like that and they're fighting. You can't ask for much more, man. That's a good game from them.
And we talk about Justin Fields wins as well before we wrap this show up today on Geek on the Mic. We talk a lot about how Justin Fields needs to win, but if Justin Fields comes out and throws 300 plus yards a game, 2 or 3 touchdowns a game, turnover-free football, and they're still losing games, can you count that against them?
No. I hate that stat for a quarterback. I hate the wins-loss stat for a quarterback. I think it's such a dumb stat to have. And when people talk about it, I know they don't know they're talking about football. They don't know nothing about football if you're talking wins-losses for a quarterback. That is such a team record, obviously, that a guy can go out there and ball out every single week and still have a losing record. That's just, one man can't win a game for you ever in football.
I totally agree. And going back to that Bears Civil War, that was like one of the main arguments that they used, that Justin Fields is 6-27. I'm like, that is not a quarterback stat. That is a team stat. We can go back and count many, many games that Justin Fields balled out and the defense gave up 30 plus points in those games in that same span when Justin Fields balled out. So
There's only a few quarterback stats that are important, and one of them is QB. I actually like the QBR. QBR tells you a lot about a quarterback. Wins and losses do not, ever. Because if that's the case, then why isn't guys like Justin Herbert? Why are they not getting the same flack that Justin Fields is. Obviously, he has more wins, but I mean, you know what I mean. Justin Herbert's a really good quarterback in my eyes.
Yeah,
he's playing like that. So.
Yeah, Josh Allen too. And someone made a good point about Josh Allen is that he is Justin Fields with a good defense.
That's all he is, man.
Justin Fields with a top 5 defense. If you put Justin Fields, give him a top 5 defense, I'm pretty sure Justin Fields would have a really good record. If you put Justin Fields with the 2018 Bears defense, I'm pretty sure Justin Fields' record would be a lot better as well.
Definitely, 100%.
So, Isaiah, once again, it's always a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And we do apologize that we went a couple of weeks without doing these. Obviously, Isaiah is a high school football coach. He got super busy with playoffs. Obviously, I got super busy with life and all those other good stuff. But it was really good to have you on once again.
Definitely. Happy to be back for the next week.
Yeah, and as always to you, bear down.
Bear down.
You've been listening to Keek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.